What's going on? My name is David. I'm coming at you guys with a brand new LEGO Ninjago video, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down and discussing my thoughts on the LEGO Ninjago Sons of Garmadon episode 75 sneak peek. So without further ado, let's get into it. So as you guys know, the sneak peek was actually released a few days ago, and I have not had the opportunity to discuss my thoughts and of course break down the sneak peek, so I'm going to take this opportunity to do so. So in the first scene that we have in this sneak peek, it's actually pretty much just an entire copy from the sneak peek that we got from San Diego Comic-Con earlier on in the year in August. And so I'm assuming that is the first part of the actual episode, and then in the middle of all that, we do get the Sons of Garmadon episode 75 screen in which Lloyd actually narrates it, which I think is very cool. We also get a brand new line for the brand new voice actor who's going to be voicing Lloyd in this season. And then we are followed up with this entire scene of Nia and, of course, the Slave Masters, which I think is very interesting because we have not really heard much about slavery in general in Ninjago, and I think it's quite interesting how they're incorporating this, and they're kind of enslaving all the rice farmers and whipping them and stuff, and that's actually something that I did not expect for them to include in a children's TV show. So that's very, very cool. And then you have this kind of warden, I guess, with this samurai helmet on. He's also ordering Nia to help them gather water because he's thirsty. And I'm assuming they're just working the fields and gathering all these supplies and working for him. And so he just attacks her and she is able to fend herself off fantastically. And I do have to say the animations are so smooth. I love them so much. And this is probably going to be one of the best Ninjago seasons just animation wise because it looks so smooth. It looks so crisp. I love it. I love it. I love it. Now let's talk about the design changes real quick. So Nia does look very different than she did before. Of course, she has that beauty mark on her face, and I do have to say it did not really bother or extract anything from the core experience, because overall a common theme in this entire sneak peek, it was enjoyable and entertaining just like it always was. This is Ninjago, and it really didn't detract anything from the experience in my opinion. And of course the ninja might look a little bit different, but it just needs some getting used to, and at the end of the day these are still the same exact ninja and they do look familiar. I'm not saying that they're completely brand new. There are of course some drastic changes that were taken into their faces, for example, but at the end of the day you still recognize them as Cole, as Jay, as Zane, as Nia, as Kai, and as Lloyd, and it just, at the end of the day, it's Ninjago, and I really enjoyed the entire sneak peek. And moving on with the scene following that, so of course we have Jay and Cole, and they are entering this really weird monastery area, which I'm very confused on where it's located because they're exploring this kind of mountainous, snowy region, and I'm really interested to see where this actually is located at. And it's just kind of stupid in my opinion to ask someone expecting an answer, but then all of a sudden you have to explain to someone else, yeah, they're not going to answer me because they've sworn an oath to silence. So that was just kind of a little bit overlooked, I think, in the entire sneak peek, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really detract anything. And so they're exploring and they found clues to some old man who has lost his memory, and they believe it might be Sensei Wu. And this is where things start to get interesting because from the back, from the behind, he does look like Sensei Wu, and I did like this little bit because I really did think that this was indeed Sensei Wu. I know it's crazy, it's stupid, but I really thought from the behind it did look like Sensei Wu, even though I knew in my mind, deep down, yeah, this is not going to be Sensei Wu. They're obviously going to have to go on an entirely different journey and epic conquest to, of course, find their master Wu. At the end of the sequence, you, of course, have both Jay and Cole being attacked by the monks because they, of course, irritate them so much that they're just forced to run out of the monastery. So that's something that was kind of funny. And then at the end of the entire sneak peek, we do have that battle sequence between the mechanic and of course Zane and Kai. And I really did enjoy that as well because I thought it was very well executed. And I do believe that this is actually the city of Styx just because it's on the docks, it's standing all on these wooden pillars that are located above the water. And Pixel does tell Zane and Kai that Lloyd needs their help in Ninjago City, indicating that they are both not in Ninjago City at the moment. And so this would kind of make sense for the mechanic to strike the city of Styx and not Ninjago City itself. and so that is of course something to point out. And I think it's actually rebuilt very nicely, because I don't know if you guys remember, but way back when in Possession, the ninja actually destroyed the docks, and so they of course had to rebuild it. It looks very, very nice. And then the entire mechanic, nostalgia moment was really, really cool. Although I do believe he had a different voice actor this time, but I'm not really too positive on that. It doesn't really matter. But overall, it was a very, very cool scene. And I do believe that this takes place after the first scene that we got way back when in the San Diego Comic-Con, just because Pixel, of course, messages Zane that they, of course, need to go back to Ninjago City to help Lloyd defend against Mr. E. And so overall, what do I have to say about this sneak peek? I think it's actually very cleverly executed, because you have that main action sequence all the way in the beginning with Lloyd and Mr. E fighting in Ninjago City, and then you just have all the ninja scattered around, all doing their own thing, and I think it's a really just cool montage to include at the end. And so overall, I'd rate this sneak peek an 8 out of 10. But that of course concludes today's video. I do hope that you guys enjoyed today's video, and if you guys did, please leave a like and subscribe for more LEGO Ninjago videos coming to you guys each and every day. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out, guys.